Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Office Hours. Welcome. Michael, good to see you. Richard, Matthew, Patrick, Max, Kathy, AT, good to see you all. Welcome, everybody. I've got an echo here. Hold on. Let's see if I can sort out what's going on here. Let's see. Does that work? Still got an echo. Hold on here. It's like I've got two of me in the. Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. I'm leaving me right back. Dang. All right. I think I'm okay now. We had some weird technical difficulties going on there. It was like I was logged into the system twice. Jeff says, "Word's so important, we get to hear them twice." That's right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Happy Friday. It is absolutely gorgeous here in San Diego. It is perfect San Diego weather, nothing but sunshine, mid 70s. I hope wherever you are, it is just as pleasant. What's up, Clay Tudor? Good to see you. Jeff Green, good to see you. So I hope that we're all set now. If you guys wouldn't let me know, if you wouldn't mind letting me know that the echo is gone, we're working okay now, that would be fantastic. Welcome. Are we working? Test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, test. All good. All right, awesome. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Jeff. Good. Welcome to Office Hours. You guys know the agenda by now, which is that there is no agenda. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the comments and I will grab them there. I'm also going to go ahead and put an invite link for anybody who wants to come on camera and chat. If you've got something that is harder to explain, needs some more context, a little bit longer, all that good stuff, go ahead and use that link. Paul says, from down under Australia, 1 degree here. Wow. Awesome. Good to see everybody. All right. Cool. Yeah, I hope it's been a good week for you. It's been a great week around here. It's been perfect San Diego weather the whole time. And I've got my daughter back from Italy, which is fantastic. She's back from her study abroad trip for college. She had an amazing time, although, man, they worked her really hard. Like she's a hard worker, and she came back just absolutely exhausted because apparently they had like no downtime, no breaks pretty much on this trip. So, we don't feel too bad for her because it was a study abroad trip in Italy. But I'm glad to hear. I mean, you're paying money, you're getting college credit from the trip, all that stuff. Apparently, the professors were very serious about making sure that they actually, did the work to earn the credit. So that's good. That's pretty cool. So studying wine and Italian men. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. and pretty much true. She was studying the art of the time, of course, Renaissance period, right? In Italy, which was mostly statues of men. So yes. In fact, she said it was pretty funny. She said that butts were a theme of the trip, it seemed like, because there was lots of statues and drawing butts. So let's see here. Kyle, I see you in the background. I'll get back there 1 second. Richard, good to see you, sir. He's going to type in some background. AT Williams says, how do we develop the skill weekly office hours for our customers? I think I worry about is what if I get asked a question you don't know the answer to? AT, that's no problem. You just say, hey, that's a great question. I'm not sure I have the answer to that right now. So I'm going to take a little to do for myself and go do some homework and I'll get back to you with an answer. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think, so the idea of doing an office hours like this and doing it, for an agency business, for other types of businesses, is just there's a handful of real benefits to it. I mean, one, obviously, that the customers feel like they have access to you. That alone is just a really nice benefit. It humanizes your business, and it just makes people feel like, hey, I can get in contact with actually a real human being and get support when I need it. And then the other thing is it it focuses people's question time on a specific date and time. And so, if you have something in your mind and you would like to get some help from me, from my team, and you know that there's an office hours coming up, and you know that you can ask the questions there and get a response, then there's some degree of, okay, I'm not going to kind of force my way through whatever support system and ticketing and all that type of stuff to try and get this answer sooner. If it's not an emergency, if it's not something that I have to have the answer to right away, it's just a nice way of like consolidating that Q&A into one time period. And then it's also a great way to answer questions in a way that everybody can benefit, right? And I love that aspect of it, is that we can take 50 people on a call and they can all get the benefit of hearing somebody else's questions and answers. So everybody gets a little bit smarter because of it. Real benefit to that. Finally, the other benefit is content. If you're recording videos like this for your calls, and there may be a snippet in there where you answer a question, that you can now just cut that snippet out and use it, someplace else, in either in your marketing or in your back office, kind of training and stuff like that. Just makes there's just a ton of benefits to it. But you don't have to have all the answers, for sure. And there's absolutely nothing wrong, AT, if somebody comes and asks a question, you say, hey, that's a great question. I'm not sure I know the answer to that right now. And so rather than pretend that I do, I'm going to go do some homework for you and get back to you. It could also be, AT, that somebody asks you, every once in a while, somebody comes on to these and they ask, they ask something that's pretty darn technical. It's going to take me a while, opening up HighLevel, getting in there, digging around, stuff like that. And I'll oftentimes just punt those and just say, hey, look, I'll record a video for you after this call and get back to you, because sometimes it's not a good format for me to just be digging into a technical issue that I have to kind of research or really play around with and have everybody sit and watch that. It can be a little dull. And also, just maybe not apply to everybody. They don't need to sit there and watch you dig through all of that stuff. So in that case, I'll oftentimes just say I'll shoot you a separate Loom video. So, but I encourage everybody to do them. I think that they're a great way to get all those benefits that I listed there. There's a bunch of them. Okay, Kyle, my man, you want to come on board? Good to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Mike, I've really been feeling called to simplify my model, which I feel like you are a master of simple models.
I like simple.
Yeah, I like simple too. And I've just had like a couple of painful experiences in the last month or so where there's been like a little bit of churn. I think I mentioned that last time, but also just like unpleasant client calls, and I'm just like, this kind of sucks. And so I don't know if I'm I don't think this is a knee-jerk reaction. I think I want simpler. And so would it be okay with you if I share my screen and just sort of show you so I'm kind of thinking of basically productizing our essential, I call them the 5 essential systems.
Mm-hmm.
And so, oh boy. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, let me add it to the, yep.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I just want to make a simple product and I'd like to, give people access to it, or maybe I don't think I'd sell it as a one-off. I think it'd be ideally it's access to the system, and then maybe like a biweekly office hours or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so basically the core systems are the event and catering attraction machine. This is basically where we fill up an opportunity pipeline in HighLevel with like people who are hot to trot for bookings of like like a wedding reception for 40
Right.
people or whatever. That one's working like a hot damn right now for a couple clients. One client it's not working well for. Anyways, the other one's basically guest magnet method, which was my kind of one of my first ever things. This where you barter an offer. You know the game, right? You
Yep.
barter an offer to build up a database. I basically say the outcome there is it's not like we're going to send you a flood of guests. It's more like we're going to get guest funded advertising and list building.
Yep.
And the next one is reputation accelerator. So just more 5-star reviews. Local visibility booster, which is basically all that is like we'll build a website, or maybe like I could create some templates for websites, like smart campaigns on Google Ads. I actually love your take on that, but I find smart campaigns like work pretty well, and they deliver results in a way that like the restaurant owner can easily understand. Some GBP optimization, local SEO, which is actually just basically it's just Yext. So and that's basically local visibility booster. And then the last one is just email and text engines, which I like. There are a number of restaurants who are just tickled pink if we send one weekly email newsletter and one text message to the list that we built for them.
Yeah.
And so those are the like core systems to have like other things in, the tool, like the trick bag, like miscalled text bag, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But basically what I'm just thinking about in just terms of like like how I promote it, how I sell it, it's just like, ideally daily Instagram reels and emails, and every single email makes an offer. Every month, not a free webinar, but like a $99 workshop where I basically just go into detail on one of the systems. And I also like that keep me accountable to creating new systems. And I don't know if I feel like I got tons of systems I could just come up with, and that's kind of what's fun actually. So I feel like that's, I could just present on that new system every single month. And then, so basically if they want to like, they want monthly access, it'd be like access to all systems plus biweekly office hours for $297 a month. And then if you do want to go the agency service route, it's $1,500 to $2,000, basically $2,000. I do find that a lot of restaurants, even though I don't think it's a big needle mover, they actually really value like organic social media posting. So sure, if you want that, I'll just tack on $500 and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically that's it. And I guess I just love your any thoughts, feedback, anything at all.
Well, so the one thing that I wonder when you say access to all systems, I mean, first of all, I love how you've productized it. I love how simple and direct like the names are and stuff like that, kind of benefit driven. But what is when you say access to them, is this they are going to be using these things themselves?
Yeah. So I was basically I would like each one of those like products, I would just super flesh out, and I'd create like SOPs around it, and like simple video training. I basically I've been just kind of thinking about myself when I started and how painful of a process it was, and I was just doing social media management and I was charging a buttload of money for it, but like it's not sustainable because you can't, like, it's not defensible really.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, if I could speak into that guy, I would say like do outcome based services that scale, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's basically, so it's, it is for the restaurant owner, but it's also for like the bartenders or the servers or just people who want to be able to add more value, maybe generate a bit of a side income. Although I'm a little wary of saying that because I'd be concerned it would attract maybe the wrong folks, but maybe not. I'm not sure. It's probably a problem that I don't really have yet. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So tell me what the price point would be again. It's $297 for
$297 to basically like access basically a database of systems. And I'm not even close to there. Like this is probably about 3 or 4 months. Like I'd have to really flesh them out so that it's, it's kind of, it's similar to your, and I'm not comparing or anything because you've been building it for years and years. It's robust, right? But kind of similar to that idea where you could go and you could log into, Moguls or whatever services that scale, marketing service provider, blah, blah, and there are things in there that you can watch and then implement.
So, and then would they implement it using HighLevel? Is that part of your model that you're?
Yeah, part of it. I didn't actually mention this, but I have been a really effective downsell has been to my tech stack, which is coupon tools, HighLevel, and Yext.
Yeah.
So I've been charging. It might be criminally low, but I've been charging $297 for that tech stack per month. But people have been like, I've had a couple folks churn in the last 2 months, and I just said you can have access to these. It's $297 per month. I'm happy to, occasionally hop on a call and support from time to time, very occasionally. But yeah, that's part of it as well, I'd say. Yeah.
So my immediate thoughts are that I'm concerned that in the market that you're in, that there's not going to be enough doers of this stuff to stick very well at $297 a month for what is effectively just information, right?
Yeah.
I think that you are potentially putting yourself at a price point where you're in this in-between place that I think could negate all of the benefit of having what you're having. And what I mean by that is I love the idea of you. I love the idea of you selling these systems as like an information product like this.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it at a much lower front end price so that you can really use it as a way of attracting everybody to you and everybody seeing, oh, wow, yeah, these systems make so much sense and would be so valuable for my business. And this guy Kyle really knows what he's doing. And then at the $297 price point or something like that, you're then saying, hey, look, if you like those systems, but you're having any sort of challenges executing, for $297, we can put you on our tech stack and we can set up the foundation of those systems on our tech stack for you so that now you've got essentially the implementation there ready to go. Because I think at $297, that's a price point that, for information, I just think it's got to be something that the audience that you're selling to is going to be able to execute on quickly. And I don't think that that's this audience. Like, that's just my impression is that restaurant people are not, they're almost the exact opposite of the people who are like hungry to go sit at the computer and make some marketing stuff happen. They're like, hey, they're like, I'm on my feet having, drinks with customers until whatever time of the morning, and then, sleeping it off. And then I take a handful of hours to relax before I go do it again. Like that's generally my impression. I know that that's obviously not true in all cases, but I just wonder if you're going to have a hard time. I feel like you're going to have a hard time finding an audience of people that are going to pay $297 a month for what is effectively information. Now, if you said it was $47 a month or a one-time payment of $297 or something like that, and you were using that as your funnel filler to build up your brand and load yourself up with a whole ton of prospects that are now familiar and educated on your systems, and you're saying step number 2 for whatever percentage of you is to now get on the tech stack, and then you could offer various levels of services, right? This, lowest end package could be you get access to the tech stack. We've put in the snapshots and things like that for you, and it's still pretty much up to you. And then, on these higher level of services, we're actually managing the systems for you if you wanted to, be in that business. That seems like more realistic to me. I don't know how that sits with you based on your experience, but
yeah, I think it just sounds like, what if instead of access to the systems, the $297 was like the tech stack. You get the tech stack for $297, which would cost you that anyways. And then tech stack plus plus maybe setup. Like we'll set the systems up, but we won't monitor or maintain them. Like we'll give you what you need. I don't know, something like that makes sense.
Yeah, but what was the difference between what I was saying and what you were saying there? I'm not sure what the
No, I
difference was.
think that is pretty much it. It just sounds like what you came back to me with was it's not access that you sell at $297. It is the tech stack.
Yes, it's the tech stack, and in my opinion, the real value add though that will keep them that will make that a much stickier offer is that it's the tech stack, but you've also built into it, snapshots, things like that, templates, whatever you can do, so that when they turn on that tech stack, they're not a tools buyer, they're a systems buyer, right?
100%.
And they can go, oh, look, here's his systems already in here, awesome. Now I gotta provide the extra elbow grease to turn them on and use them, unless I sign up for his higher end service.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Because I think that your ideal marketing message, and I think you're so good at this too with your content and stuff, is just being out there in the world saying, these are the smart systems that every restaurant should have to grow and grow consistently and grow more profitably. And, here's all the things that we call them and, all that. And you can get access to all of these, for one-time payment of 97, or it's $47 a month. At $47 a month, you get access to them. Plus you get access to our community where I'm answering questions and doing, office hours calls, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then, hey, Kyle, this stuff is all awesome, but man, we can't do this shit. Like, we don't have any tech person on and we're too busy and all that type of stuff. What options do you have? And you're then upselling them on the options. But that way you're building that audience that's all educated on your view. You're indoctrinating them, you're framing them, and then you're putting them into the offer. I just think that it feels like it just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I love that. I don't want to hog any. I have one more question, but
go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I really want to try, I want to try prospecting method where, here's my dream. And, I just want to get, like NFC cards, like those Zappy stands or the review stands. I like those. I just find them like sinfully ugly. And so I really just want to make nice looking, cards that I can program them super easily. I'd also like for them to have a QR code on them, maybe like a dynamic one that I could program after the fact. I do believe that's possible. And then just go to restaurants and literally say, here are these cards. If you tap it or scan it, it'll take you to this page, which can have your brand on it. And I'll just make like a dummy landing page with your logo here. And I'd like you can try this for free for 30 days or 14 days or whatever. And then maybe after that, it's just like they can just keep the system, keep the cards for like $100 a month or something. I'm not sure, but any thoughts on that approach to prospecting, and anything about it that you would do to make it better?
I love the general concept. I think it's super smart. I think it will allow you to get in the door much, much, much more easily with these restaurants. And the reason why I say that, just to kind of back that up for everybody else on the call, is I think that, as in the restaurant business, again, people are so busy, they're on their feet, they're not necessarily sitting at computers. So anything that you can do to be tangible and be real versus just being something online, I think gives you a huge benefit. And so the fact that you're going into their business with a thing, I think is really valuable. So there's a couple of suggestions that I have for you. One, Jeff Hershey, friend of mine, I think, no, I can introduce you. So he's got a fact. It's right here, sitting on my desk, unopened for the past couple of weeks because I've been too busy to get to it. But I'm supposed to hop on a call with him. So he's got a thing that he's doing right now that may be almost exactly what you were talking about there, which he has, created these Reviewly cards that he either sends out or takes to the businesses, and you got the QR code, things like that, and it's a free that you set up like a whole Google My Business review process and stuff like that through Reviewly that then helps you get more reviews, rank better, all that type of stuff. And then it just puts you into his software, and but it's still free. Like what you do with this card is free. There's an upsell option to his software then if you want to be able to do more of X. And apparently that's going real well. So I like that concept. There's another concept that I want to tell you about too that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. If you shoot me a message, I know I got to get back to you on some other stuff anyway. If you shoot me a message, there's a company that I found in Oklahoma or something like that. That looks like they're doing really well. I've heard of them now through a couple of people. And what they're doing, I think this is super, super smart. I'm considering how do I do this with their San Diego. So they have put together these local cards that are like really nice. They got like a local artist to do these cool designs on them, all that stuff. So they're really, really nice looking cards. They take a batch of them to a restaurant or a local business of any kind that's got good foot traffic. And they say, hey, look, this first batch of 50 is free for you. And you sell them for $20 and you keep the $20. So now the restaurant sells all 50, $20 each. Now they got $1,000 in their pocket, right? And those cards are essentially local benefit cards for then the people who bought them that are worth, $500 in value at local restaurants and stuff in the area. So they spent $20, got a $500 value card. They can now go around and get some discounts and stuff at local businesses, get 2-for-1 beers at whatever. So now they've hooked the retail business as a distribution channel because they just made $1,000, and they have created this essentially discount program that these businesses, they essentially now go back to the business and say, hey, look, we'll also make your business part of the program, the discount program and all that type of stuff. And that costs whatever, $500 a year to have your business in there. And for that $500, you also get another 100 cards to sell. So you make back, 3x, 4x your money right away when you sell those cards anyway. So it's all just win-win-win for everybody. I freaking love that. So I think that there's something to these things that you're talking about, that maybe there's a combination of strategies there or something like that. But I like what you're talking about. I think that is a winning approach.
Awesome. Okay. I'll follow up I'd be curious to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mike.
Cool. Absolutely, man. Good to see you.
You too.
All right. Let me, Jason, I see you back there. Let me answer some questions here from the sidebar. Chinook V2 says, hey, Mike, how successful can someone become to just promote Go HighLevel as an affiliate and not focus on the SaaS portion? Time is a big factor I lack, and I rather direct people to the source. You can do very, very well. Gosh, HighLevel, I think last month paid out like $3.5 million in commissions to affiliates. So that was last month. So you can do very well. It is obviously you have either got to have an audience because you're in this space and you're producing content like me, right? Or you've got to be good at doing some sort of, direct response marketing or something like that to get people into the program, competing against the people like me and, and all the other affiliates out there that are creating content, right? So it's absolutely, it's a fantastic affiliate program. You can do very well with it. And it's just a matter of understanding that you're talking about two different businesses. Those are two, it is two different businesses. Like I run two different businesses. I run their San Diego, which is my local media and marketing business. And then I run my information and training business, two totally separate businesses that are obviously, very complementary to each other, but operationally, they're totally different. So you just need to make sure that you know what you're getting into, and that you're willing to make the necessary investments, time, energy, content, all that type of stuff to be successful in whichever one you choose. But yeah, fantastic program. Richard, good to see you, sir. Can you chat about the high leverage agency or the MSP Academy? Which one would be best suited to my situation? Got some sample system packages as a starting point. And then I don't see if there's any other. Okay. So, Richard, let me try to make it as simple as possible, because I think I've tried to make this a very simple decision, which is high leverage agency is if you say, hey, Mike, I like everything that you're saying about all this system stuff. I like your approach to packaging. I like your approach to pricing. I am not, I don't have my own, like Kyle, as an example, who was just on. Kyle's got his own creative ideas about things that restaurants could be doing that, maybe don't have anything to do with high level, but he wants to see those packaged up and sold. If you don't have like your own thing that you're trying to create in terms of some sort of unique service, then I would say high leverage agency is for you. If you say, hey, Mike, I just kind of want to follow your blueprint as much as possible, and of course you can tweak it and change it and vary it. But if you're saying, I think I want to follow like 80% of what you're doing, I would just say go with high leverage agency. And I'm trying to make it as turnkey as possible for anybody who is of that mindset. If you are saying, Richard, that, hey, I've been a really good video editor for the last 10 years, and I've had a lot of success selling video editing to these businesses, but I've realized that it's all my time and talent, and I haven't created a scalable version of that. And that's what I want to do. But I want to do these video editing services and just learn how to package them correctly so that I can scale them up. That's MSP Academy. It's much more of like my teaching on everything that I've learned in packaging and designing services at a more like foundational, kind of intellectual and strategic level. Very practical still, lots of practical tools and frameworks in there, but it's to help somebody who's saying, I've got this service, Mike, and I just need to make it more scalable and profitable. And to me, it doesn't matter. I don't care what service that is. It could be a law firm that wants to make their legal services more scalable and profitable. It could be, any type of thing, video editing, podcast editing, whatever. The things that I teach in MSP Academy apply to any service, honestly. But, I did it in IT services first, then marketing services, right? So, but if you're saying, no, I'm not looking for all the theory, I don't have some proven thing that I've been doing for the last 10 years and I just want to do it better, then I would go to high leverage agency. You're still going to get a lot of the theory and the kind of intellectual and strategy training in high leverage agency. But I also try and translate that down into just structure your packages like this, price them like this. Here's a freaking follow-up sequence to use, to sell, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to make it as practical as possible for somebody that kind of just wants to follow the blueprint. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Richard. Christopher says pros and cons on using Go High Level website option versus having a separate WordPress site. The biggest thing I would say, Christopher, is that the WordPress site is going to have just a much bigger, more established community of developers and all that type of stuff, that it's going to make it easier that if you're looking to do something just slightly more exotic with the website, you're probably going to be able to do that more easily with WordPress. It's a known interface to a ton of people, so your customers that you're working with may already have a bunch of WordPress experience and be comfortable with logging into the WordPress admin interface and making changes and things like that. So those are benefits of going with WordPress. It is a very known quantity. It is something that would be, I think, easier to transition a customer. So say your customer wants to cancel your services and leave, and you need to be able to, give them their WordPress website, some of their hosting so that they can manage it. It should be easier to do that. So those are all benefits. HighLevel, if you want to build like a templated website fast, and let's say that you are in a specific niche, like you just create restaurant websites, and you're like, okay, I just want to have like 5 templates for restaurant websites that I can easily just change the colors, change the pictures, change the words that are on there, and launch the damn site and do it super fast, super cheap, completely integrated with HighLevel, then do that on HighLevel's developer platform. Okay, so to me, I think of them actually as very different value propositions for me as the agency. For me as the agency, I want to offer HighLevel websites because it allows me to be super efficient and to offer a very low cost option to give somebody a new website. That's still a nice website. It has probably 90% of the functionality that any small business is ever going to need, maybe even more than that. And I can just get them done and turn them on fast. WordPress, there's all kinds of tools now that allow you to crank up a new website on WordPress fast as well, but a little bit more cost to it with the hosting and things like that. So it just cuts down on some of your options to do it like really, really affordably and efficiently. Okay. So I hope that helps you. And I see Chinook said for SEO, WordPress OS is better. Yeah. And I honestly don't know if I agree with that or not for the far majority of small businesses. I think that's probably true if you are building up a little bit more of a robust website with a bunch of content on it and all that type of stuff. That's probably surely true. If you're building the local restaurant's 5-page website, I think that the SEO capabilities in HighLevel's websites are probably just perfectly fine. Okay. I live in Brazil and I'm trying to get going in US markets. I will have an opportunity to travel to the US in July. I will have 10 days in each of 2 locations. And I thought I'd try and drum up some clients with live in-person meetings, workshops. Would you suggest to make this effort a success? Man, that's cool. Good on you. I think that's admirable. It's an admirable effort to even undertake. So to make those a success, one, I would aim for getting like 20 or 25 business owners in a room for like a lunch and learn type of thing. I think that's like a good size, that if you could get that many people in a room in a location, I think that would be considered a real good success. And then I would assume a couple of things. One, that you're going to have to market harder and follow up more aggressively than you would expect to make sure that people actually show up. I would use the trick of having them pick their food to increase your show up rate. So it's an old trick that I learned from Perry Belcher that works really well, that if I invite you to an event and you say, yes, I'm coming, and I say, great, would you like salmon or filet? And you choose salmon, you are much more likely to actually come to the event now, because you feel like, oh geez, they are now committed. They're like going to make food for me. They're going to make this nice, lunch for me. I don't want to have them waste that. Like it raises this level of commitment within people when they actually choose their food like that. I know it seems kind of silly that just something like that would make a big difference, but it does. And then I would have a next step for working with you at that event. So, hey, while you finish up, you do some nice presentation for them, you educate them. And then at the end of that, say, hey, this is what we do. We help businesses like yours with these systems and strategies. Since you guys are all here, I wanted to thank you for being here and taking your time out of your busy schedule. Normally our services cost, $2,500 up front, and then it's $497 a month. If you decide to go ahead and sign up with us in the next, 30 days or whatever it is, we will waive that upfront fee or discount it by $1,500 or discount it by $1,000 or something like that. Some sort of offer like that to get them to take action. And then at a bare minimum at that event, I would be trying to book the next step on the calendar. So I'd be booking them into, yeah, we'd love to have that follow-up call. Let's go ahead and, do it. Let's put it on the calendar. So you're minimizing chasing people down. So
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
So those are all things I would consider doing. I would also suggest that you consider some sort of direct mail invite to get people there as well. So sending them like a nice invite card, in a nice envelope, maybe handwritten, hand stamped, something like that. So it feels like they're actually getting like a nice invitation from a human being, not from, just some, sorry guys, just from some direct mail, mass direct mail sequence. Those are all, just little things that I think, will help make that event a win. Okay. I hope that helps you. Opinion on directing people to a custom GPT I'm working on that will have an internal course that feeds off a Go HighLevel knowledge base, along with my touch and knowledge that GPT will have my Go HighLevel affiliate link. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds a little exotic to me, and maybe I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like a little fancier than an unproven, but maybe that makes it work really well. I don't know. I think a good old piece of content, promoted in an ad to a landing page is probably that would probably work really well. Was the company doing that with the cards? I'm not sure, Kathy, but I will track it down. What is the process to use cold mailing outside of HighLevel, but then getting those who respond into our HighLevel email system and out of the cold email? Patrick, that's a great question. If you use the company that I recommended or actually I didn't recommend, but I followed up in our Attention Engine Bootcamp, that company is, oh no, actually, I'm sorry. I don't know that Kixie does. Let me see if Kixie does cold email too or not. But Kixie is a cold outbound prospecting system that integrates with HighLevel. I just don't know if they do the cold email. I know they do the cold calling. It doesn't look like. So you can see though, these guys that integrate with HighLevel, you could, check them out. It looks like they're more phone based and SMS based. So if there is not something though that is completely integrated, it's just an export. You know what I mean? So like you literally, Patrick, you load up 500 names into your cold prospecting system. And then when somebody actually responds and you're like, oh yeah, this is somebody we're going to keep in touch with, you just manually just put them into HighLevel. It's not going to be that many people. So you don't have to worry about the overwhelming administrative load of moving all of your hot prospects into HighLevel from your cold prospecting system. It's not going to be that many. Okay. So it would literally just be a manual. And you're saying, are we using like a lead magnet or something like that? That could absolutely be the case. Yes. In your cold prospecting approach, you could have, hey, here's an option to go opt in for something. Could be register for a training, that type of thing. That's definitely a possibility as well. Okay. If you're just doing like a more typical cold prospecting, where it's like you're trying to get somebody to engage with you in a conversation, then it's just manually just moving them over there. Okay. Jason, you ready to join me? How are you, sir?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Good. How can I help?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question about free offers that I keep hearing around the HighLevel community. It's like, hey, you can offer a free website. If you have one of the plans, you can host unlimited, sub accounts, right?
Yep.
The latest version that I heard was from Tim Sabir, I think is how you say his name, one of the affiliates. And he was talking about using print shops in your local town as referrals, and saying something like, hey, if you have a customer that comes in and they purchase something from you, well, then they can get a free website, quote unquote. And somehow he creates some sort of like a quick landing page for them, and then like later tries to upsell them. But he didn't go exactly into the sort of like that conversion later or like upselling them. Just wondering if you've heard versions of that or like how that could work. And so just selfishly, I'm thinking about that because I have a couple of upcoming meetings with some potential referral sources and just trying to figure out how to help each other. And on the one hand, I don't want to potentially waste time, but I mean, it could be a value add for them, certainly. But I don't know, just trying to, what do you think?
I mean, you can see my,
Yeah.
The reason why I do that is that in my experience, all of these things can be a nice little trickle of additional business and a nice relationship to have, but they're not an engine of business. And so you've got to create your own engine of business.
Yeah.
So, theoretically you go, well, Mike, that sounds like it could be a great engine of business. They're already selling all these small business customers and now we're going to, move them over here. And that could be, but a local print shop probably does not have that many customers themselves. And of those customers, the ones that are actually going to take them up on a website offer, and then that are going to convert into a customer for you, all of that is just, it's small. And it's going to be small. Now, I don't know this guy. Maybe he's come up with some brilliant thing. It sounds more like in this space, there have been, clever little things that have been in and out of this space for the last 15 years, and they're clever. And so they sound nice and people get excited by them. And then they never really amount to anything for anybody.
Right.
The only ways I know of that amount to anything for anybody in this business are the same things that, I've been telling you over and over again, which is great content, do prospecting, share your knowledge and just keep it up.
That makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, I can also imagine that if these folks are getting pulled in for a free website, that then trying to upsell them, I guess the ratio of them getting upsold would be minimal if they're looking for something for free, right?
To me, that's the biggest thing. So the closest thing that I would compare this to that has actually been a huge win is when you go and incorporate your small business, right? They will refer you, they massive distribution deal between those companies and GoDaddy for the last, and Namecheap and stuff. So GoDaddy and Namecheap have a deal with all those companies where it's like, oh, as soon as you incorporate, what's the next step? Well, you need a website and a domain. So go get your website and domain now with a special offer from GoDaddy. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant channel. One, because the number of people setting up small businesses using these online business setup things is huge. Right. And two, it's a very natural next step to, oh yeah, I do, now that I started my business, the next thing I need, of course, is some cool, sexy domain, or I want to put up a website. It's like just the next step that everybody takes now. And I need an email address using that domain. So GoDaddy has created this super smooth system to, here's how you get all those things. Yeah. And it's completely online, completely automated, has almost no cost for them to do it. So that all makes sense and makes it an awesome channel. But what you're talking about here, I mean, I'm just trying to think. So let's say 100 small business customers go into a print shop to get something printed for their business, presumably, right? What percentage of those don't already have a website? And because I'm already in business, I'm paying to get stuff printed, things like that. You would assume most of them have a website by now. But if they don't, the question would be, well, why? And who is this business? And what's like holding them back and all this? And so now they're coming to you to get a free website because they think it's a cheap, it just, when the ultimate outcome is I want to have these people on my systems paying me $497 a month, I think to get from where you're talking about to there is really hard. If, again, I don't know who that gentleman is. If he's like, dude, I'm just trying to make $6,000 because if I make $6,000 a month, life is great. And so if I can just get, 50 customers paying me a hosting fee and I can do that over the next year, I'm set. If that's the goal, that that might work. It might be just, hey, you get a free website and then you got to pay for hosting. And if you take me up on that, then sweet, I'm going to give you the website and give you the hosting and we're all set. And I'm not expecting you to upgrade to anything. That's just, to me, that's an opportunity to make, some little side income, and hopefully that works out. It's not a way to build a business.
A repeatable system. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks for your perspective, Mike. Appreciate it.
You bet. Good to have you here. Thanks for the question, as always.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. I'm just starting out. I have 5 clients. Last week, one of my prospects asked me what my continuity plan was and how they would be protected on putting all their eggs in my basket. I think I handled it. Wanted to hear your thoughts on this. So I would, this is where it's really valuable to leverage HighLevel in the background. So I would say my answer to that would be yes. Look, the software tools that we use are not, built and owned by us, as you can imagine. These are tools that take a lot of development and a lot of resources. And that's why we've partnered up with a leader in the industry. Their name is HighLevel, incredibly fast growing, award-winning company with a huge development team, tons of resources. They've raised a lot of money. And they have put, global infrastructure in place for the software. So that is what is supporting my services and therefore supporting you as the business. And it's a company that if anything were to ever happen to me, you could just, go to them and say, hey, look, we need to transfer our account to X, Y, and Z. You can decide if you want to put that part in there, because that might get their mind turning a little bit on, oh, I could transfer my account to somebody else or whatever. But that is where I would leverage the fact that HighLevel has that infrastructure. Okay. Mike, you're getting closer to the edge. I'm considering offering a free one-page website, $67 a month hosting and maintenance for local businesses as a foot in the door offer. I love it. I think you should. I hope you do. Belcher's an evil genius. Yes, he is. Ali says, what's up, Ali? When selling Go HighLevel, are you seeing businesses price by user or just solely location? What pricing models have you seen that's most successful? Ali, I would do my approach here. Hold on, let me pull it up, which is a usage-based approach is what I would call it. And it's usage-based based on both the credits that they're using for email, SMS, and the other, phone and AI and all that good stuff. And it's also usage based on the number of people that are accessing the system. So I, just try and keep it stupid simple and just create a few tiers, but it would be something like this. So you have, somewhere in this $297 to $497 range. And I, to clarify, because I know some people have gotten confused on this, the reason why I have a range there is just to show you that I think that you could price your services somewhere in that range and still have it be a good entry package that you're selling to small businesses. Maybe restaurants are on the lower side of that and accountants are on the higher side of that. So that's the only reason there's a range there. I'm not suggesting that you tell your customers a range. Okay. So you pick your price, whatever it is, $297 a month, and then you include a certain amount of credits. And then you say, and 1 to 3 team members accessing the system, set up and accessing the system. Okay. So now, if they were to go over 3 team members, that would bump them up here. Or if they wanted more credits, they would bump up here. Either one. Okay. Because if they go over their credits at this package and they're paying you then additional for the use of email, SMS, right? Because these are credits that are included. So once they go beyond, they're going to be paying additional money with your markup on it. At some point or another, it will make sense for them to go, oh, you know what? Instead of paying $297 plus, whatever we're paying additional, why don't we just go to $497 so we can get double the credits and double the emails? And that's probably something you'll even propose to them. Hey, just to make this easier for you, why don't we, bump you up in price, and you're going to get you're going to be paying less than twice as much, but you're getting twice the credits. So again, somebody could get bumped up by the number of people on their team, or somebody could get bumped up because they are using additional email, SMS, calls, and stuff like that, and they would like to get more credits because it will save them money in doing so. And actually, just to go back to that, this is a rough guideline. Does it have to be 3 to 10 members? Could it be 3 to 5 and then 5? Yes, do what the heck you want. This is not, some magic formula. I think though that something very close to this is going to be the most effective and simple way to package things for the majority of small businesses that you're going to work with. What I also do here, which is different than what most people recommend, is you can see here, I'm recommending that you essentially just give them all of the capabilities of your system. So I am not holding back, high-level features from the basic plan and saying you only get those if you go pro, or you only get those if you go premium. You could absolutely, of course, hold back some of the features and say, hey, look, you only get, these features if you're at premium. The thing that sucks about that is, one, now you're one of those businesses that's holding back features, versus just being generous and just saying, hey, look, you got all this stuff that you need to run your business. Now just go crazy, run your business, right? That's a much more attractive pitch to me. And two, now you're putting that small business in the position of, if I want those features, I got to pay a lot more, even though I don't have the 10 plus team members and stuff like that. I'm still really down here. There's only 2 of us. We're not going to use that much email. But now if I want those features, now I'm paying an extra $500 a month. And it starts to, it starts to be just a less attractive option for that small business customer. So I based all this on studying ConvertKit and some of the other really successful software companies that have really taken off in the small business community in the last, 5-10 years, that type of thing. So most of the really successful software companies now are going to a usage-based model, and they are also not doing free trials. They're just doing free accounts. So you don't get a free trial, you just get a free account. Look, for this, $0 a month, free, seriously, right? And you can have up to 10,000 subscribers, but and you get all these features, right? You get all these features, but you can only have one basic visual automation, one email sequence, and one user. Okay, so it's usage, right? If you want unlimited and 2 users, it's here. If you want unlimited and unlimited users, it's here. Okay, and then they also then will end up upcharging you, again, usage-based, if you end up having more subscribers. Because, of course, if you have more subscribers, you're sending out more emails, you're using the system more, and they need to charge you more for that. So that is the approach we would take. Pricing is slightly different, now charging setup fees and thinking of charging a support fee. Yeah, I like it. I don't know that I like the support fee. I think rather than a support fee, because I think people just expect that your service is going to be supported, right? I would charge a management fee, which I think is different. And the reason why it's different is management. There is proactivity to management versus support, which is just, hey, you don't know how to use my thing, or it's too complicated, or it's broken, or whatever, right? I don't think anybody wants to pay for that. Versus if you say management, then you think about the ways that you could offer management, like what in the system needs to be managed that you could help with, and you charge for that. I think that's a much more attractive option, just throwing out there. Yes, you can also, of course, use Zapier to move contacts to HighLevel. Yep. Is there an updated version of the R6 Shook designed? No, not a designed one. And I don't think that I will do a designed one anymore, Bryce, because, it's so damn easy now to have somebody just put if you just give them that Google Doc and say, hey, put this into a ebook format, or, you go into Canva and get one of their, templates or something like that. I think I'm probably going to take that approach instead. And the reason why is then we don't have people out there with the exact same looking stuff. I want you guys to put in that last 20% of effort to make it uniquely yours. Tony says, could you offer a referral program for the print shop owner or employees? Yeah, I think so. I still think that ends up being a very, very, very small source of anything for you, though. The reason why I say that, I mean, obviously, just based on practical experience, I tried to put every type of these things in place over time. And as an example, in my IT management business, we would have some very lucrative opportunities for referral business. So in other words, let's say we had a customer and they were moving offices, and they were a 30-person law firm, and they were going to be moving to another office in downtown Boston. And we had to make sure all their technology got moved there, set up correctly, tested, they're on the new network, all that stuff, right? They would oftentimes, when they made that move, completely upgrade all of their hardware. They'd just be like, yeah, we're moving to a new office. Let's just start fresh, right? So we're talking about, for 30, 35 employees, could be talking about a couple $100,000, a few $100,000 purchase of hardware. And then they would oftentimes get new phone systems when they did this. And phone systems at that time, businesses were spending $35,000, $40,000, $50,000, especially for like a law firm or something. Phone systems are super important. So they would, be spending that kind of money. They would oftentimes have to get the office cabled. And so that was oftentimes a $20,000 job or something like that. Moving the actual stuff was, tens of thousands of dollars job. So we had all of these referrals that we were largely, we were on the very early end of planning and decision-making around all of those vendors. So we could hook some people up with some crazy good deals. And then likewise, all of those businesses could hook us up, right? The guy who's out just selling phone systems, when somebody buys that new phone system, and that phone system, now it's more of a computer-based phone system, right? And it's like, okay, we want that to integrate with all of your technology. They could be like, oh, well, we know a great IT management firm that you can work with to get help with, that type of stuff. Even given the numbers that I was talking about there and the direct tie of our services to their services and stuff like that, it was still a tiny percentage of our business was those referral relationships. And we did them. And we actually had a real nice program. We had a program where if you just mentioned my name, right? That was all you needed to do. I was going to send you a $250 gift card to your favorite restaurant. I mean, literally, that's all you had to do. Is some prospect tells me, oh yeah, I was talking to Mike and he mentioned your name. Boom. We had a handwritten note with a $250 gift card go out, because I knew the cost of generating a lead online, and the cost of generating a lead online was close to $250. And this is a warm lead. So I'll gladly pay the $250 to you instead of Google, right? And then if a customer signed up for any sort of service with us, we'd cut that referral source a $1,000 check. Like, it didn't even matter what the service was. We didn't even look at it. We just, like, again, because we knew our numbers, the cost of sales, $2,500. These guys probably was paying $1,000. Just give them $1,000. Just keep them thinking about us. Keep them talking about us. Keep them excited. And then, there were times when we could cut somebody, hey, oh yeah, you referred us that wiring job. Here's $5,000. That type of thing. It still was a tiny portion of our sales. So you've got to focus on the things that you can really control. I think that all of those relationships, absolutely. I mean, should we all be developing those relationships? Absolutely. And the more that you have, the better. And should you be rewarding them and thanking them and all that stuff, and try and formalize that process so that people know that, oh man, when I refer him somebody, he actually thanks me and sends me some money and stuff like that. Yes, do all of that stuff. And will it bring you new business? Yes. It just you've got to be the engine. The engine is creating content, running ads, doing prospecting, doing events. That's the engine. Okay. Offer search marketing, SEO, and ads, and just start incorporating Go High Level. Awesome. How do you recommend presenting these two services in one sales conversation without overwhelming a prospect? So, Anne, my preference is that you position everything as part of an overall system for growing their business. And so instead of presenting two separate services, you're really presenting one thing. You're presenting a system. So I'll just give you an example of this, Ann. And I don't know the details of your business, and there's a number of different ways that you could approach this, but I'll just give you an example. Let's say, Ann, you are running ads that say, we help accountants get qualified new business customer leads and stuff like that using our advertising process, right? Or our marketing systems. So then a bookkeeper responds to you and says, oh, so you guys are an agency or an ad agency? And your response should be, no, we're not an ad agency, although we do run ads for our clients. But the difference is that we are a complete system that has been designed for generating qualified leads for bookkeepers. And to illustrate what I mean by that is we don't just run ads. We run ads to a funnel that we have designed and tested. We then follow up to those prospects in a systematic way using our approach in the system. So now you're selling the system, and you're selling that this is an integrated thing that gets a result. Okay. So when they're buying into the system, they're buying into your ad campaigns, your landing pages, your follow-up sequences, which that is all going to be set up on HighLevel, right? And managed through HighLevel. So that's the ideal core pitch that I would like you to be able to make a version of that. Then of course there's going to be customers that are in your orbit that are like, well, hey, we just want somebody to do ads for us right now, and then maybe we'll get onto this system later. You can decide if you want to continue to take on that kind of customer over time. My experience is that if you do a good job selling your system approach the way I just taught it, you will end up not wanting those other customers because they are going to be so much less lucrative for you and so much more of a pain in the neck, because now you're running ads to their systems that they don't have set up, they don't have optimized. The results of your campaign seem less effective, but it's because they're not doing any follow-up. Like you have no control over any of that. My experience is that if you do a good job with that first pitch, you won't want the old model anymore. So that's the ideal way with SEO. Obviously there are some really nice tool sets out there now that you could kind of combine. Again, it's an overall system. It's this technology that we use plus the smarts of our team to create this, so again, I don't know the details of your business, so it's a little bit hard for me to say here's exactly how to do it, but it sounds like that at least gives you an idea. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Don, I see you back there. You want to chat?
I got in late, man, so I didn't catch everything you were talking about.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I didn't catch everything you were talking about because I got in late.
Oh, that's cool. Did you have a question that you wanted to chat about here, or were you just tuning in?
I'm just tuning in at the moment.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Thanks so.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. So let's see here. I haven't tried it yet, but doesn't Go High Level have some sort of a referral affiliate setup? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah, they've got a built-in affiliate management program now and everything. It's pretty darn sweet. Patrick says, if we are going to do high-level services for our customers, do we ask them to add us into their HighLevel as a user? No, Patrick, you're going to set them up as a sub-account on your HighLevel account. So you won't be asking them. You'll be setting up the system for them, and you will have admin access to their system. So that's, I mean, it's, you're setting it up on your platform. So that's just built in that you will have admin access to their system. Yep. AT says, in the boot camp, you said we could install the R4 snapshot for sales and the R6 snapshot for service delivery. Is there a specific order or anything we need to look at when using both snapshots? No, AT, they are completely separate. The R4 is all about managing your sales process and your marketing. Okay. The R6 is when you have a customer and you set up their sub account and you want to take a snapshot that's going to allow you to set up their marketing functionality inside of HighLevel in their sub account. That's the R6. So let's say your customer is a restaurant and that restaurant should have a birthday marketing campaign in it. They should have monthly promotions that go out promoting their special offers. They should have a reputation, like a leave a review campaign. All of that stuff is going to be in their sub account. That's all the R6. You're going to take that R6, drop it into their sub account, and you could drop the whole thing, or you could drop portions of it, right? You could say, hey, for my restaurant customer, I want these 4 things, drop them in there. And now you have the foundational infrastructure to turn the HighLevel tools into an actual marketing system for them without either you or them having to go and reinvent the wheel, right? And try and build a thing from scratch, right? The HighLevel tools themselves are just tools. And just like if you gave me a hammer and a saw and stuff like that and said, build a house, I would go, I'm sure these tools are great. And I'm sure in the right hands, somebody could build a house, but it's not me. That's what the HighLevel tools are for 95% of small businesses, right? If you just give them those tools, 95% of small businesses aren't going to know, I mean, what do I do with a funnel builder? What is a funnel, right? What's a, what are the follow-up sequences and workflows and things like that? So you don't want to just turn on these tools and just give them to them and say, good luck. You want to upgrade it into a system. A system is all of the components coming together to accomplish the job on their behalf, right? So the system includes the HighLevel tools. It includes the campaigns, email, SMS, things like that you write for them. It includes the workflows to automate the tools and automate the campaigns to actually achieve the objective that they want, right? We want more reviews, okay? Here's the workflow and the communication that goes out to get more reviews using the HighLevel tools. We want people to opt in from our Facebook ads and then get a coupon and come in and buy something. Great. Here's the funnel with the landing page that gets them to opt in, with the thank you page that's got the coupon on it, with the follow-up sequence that encourages them to come in to use the coupon, with the workflow that when they use the coupon, it tags so we no longer follow up with them because we know that they use the coupon now. Like, that's the smarts that you have to put into HighLevel to turn it into an actual marketing system for them. And that's what the R6 does, okay? So the R6 AT is when you set up their sub account, you drop that in there. The R4 is for you to use on your account to do your sales, your marketing, your sales process. Okay? Does that make it clear? I hope. Ruben says, for lead generation by using database reactivation as a foot in the door offer, what is the minimum list amount that we should take on in order to see a success? It's a good question, Ruben. I mean, to some degree or another, I guess it depends on what kind of business it is and what is success, right? So let's say it was a landscaping business and every landscaping job is, $40,000 or more. And they had a list of 500 past customers and you did a reactivation campaign and you sold one landscaping job. That would be amazing. It's a small list, but gosh, you could get a $50,000 job out of it for them, right? So if it was a restaurant and, you're hoping that people will come in and buy, a dinner, It's a totally different customer, totally different size, scale, all that type of stuff. So, hopefully in that case, you're seeing a list that's maybe got a couple thousand people in it, if they've been building their list. I don't know, something like that. I would be less concerned about the minimum size unless it's like just obviously like tiny. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously some degree of metrics that you could say, okay, if we send out an email and 20% open it and 20% of that 20% actually click on it, now we're down to, if their list is only 100 people, now we're down to, a tiny number of people that actually clicked on anything. So I think that, if somebody's got a non-existent list, it's 50 people, it's 100 people, stuff like that, then obviously database reactivation is not their problem. Their problem is database, right? Let's put database building in place for you rather than trying to reactivate a non-existent thing. So I don't know. It's not my favorite foot in the door offer, which is part of the reason why I wish I could give you like a real specific detailed thing. That's my friend Rob Bailey. That's his thing. It's not my favorite thing. How would you productize a bookkeeping or accounting firm? Oh, I love this question because I almost did this. I actually was super excited to possibly do this, but if you just look at Bench, right? Bench has done a brilliant job of this. And I say that, I mean, not knowing the, financials of their business. I don't know if it's a great business or not, but I think that they've done a real nice job with the productization of their services. And I think they've done a huge favor to small businesses everywhere, because bookkeepers used to charge an arm and a leg and act like it was all, this super hard, super tedious, super, you had to be super smart to do it and all this. And now, you can get bookkeeping, you can see right here, $299 a month. They have really productized this. And a key to it is that you've got to have technology, right? So they have a technology platform that they essentially say, hey, look, all of our customers, we're going to be doing bookkeeping using one of these, either our own proprietary bookkeeping system or QuickBooks or whatever it is, but everybody's got to be on one of these systems, and you can integrate with all kinds of other stuff, but they have, some sort of technology that just allows them to be super, super efficient. But that's an easy thing to solve in today's world of bookkeeping because there's so many options that are out there. But you can see $249 a month, billed annually, $399 a month, billed annually. Yeah, some add-ons here, catch up bookkeeping. It's actually, I think it's a brilliant service. Let's see here. How would you? Oh, I was on. Love the position. Good. Thanks for awesome. Good. Cool. Any other questions? Let me know. I think I've gone through all of them on the sidebar here. Let me know any other questions that you have. I think there are some themes in the conversations today, and I think it's an important theme to stress. Like, you've got to build your own engine of success. You've got to build your own revenue engine. Anything that you are doing where you're kind of passively assuming that somebody else is going to bring you business, I've rarely ever seen that be a success. And if somebody is going to passively bring you business, you've got to make it so easy for them to bring you that business that they don't even have to think about it. Because if it feels like extra work for them, they're not going to do it. It's just human nature. And you've got to make sure that you are willing to invest in the rewards. And in my opinion, with referral situations, you've got to invest in the reward, even if it doesn't turn out to be a success. Okay. So if Anne goes out of her way to say, hey, Mike, I met Bob, and Bob is looking for somebody that I think might be a good fit for you, And so I'm making this introduction. I hope it goes well. And Bob doesn't turn into a customer for me and should still get some sort of nice reward just because she thought of me, just because she went through the effort and took the risk. There's reputational risk on her introducing me to somebody else. I think that you've got to reward her for that. If the only thing that you reward her for is the deals that turn into wins, I mean, unless those deals turn into wins like right away, you're going to lose her. You know, she'll take the risk a couple times of referring some people, but if they don't, you know, if they don't end up becoming customers and she doesn't get some nice reward out of it, why is she going to continue doing that? So you really got to be strategic and think through that. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I think this is a really, really nice opportunity. I'm sure Bench does a nice job, but I'm sure there's a real opportunity to do something similar, but differentiated from them that I think you could do real well with. When deploying a specific function from a snapshot to a client account, is there a way to make sure all the connected pieces of the function I'm deploying are included? Juan, no, there isn't really. There isn't really. You've kind of got to think it through. I wish that it was that easy that you could package up like a specific function and say, hey, they want to do the birthday campaign. And a birthday campaign includes workflow, emails, SMS, forms, landing pages, custom values. Grab that all in one package. They're all related and move them. I don't think that one, it's not the way it works right now. And two, I think that I imagine it's going to be a while before HighLevel pulls that off, if they ever do. The only way really to pull that off now is to separate essentially all of those functions into separate workflows. So to have a birthday workflow, have a reputation, review capture workflow, have a loyalty program workflow. And we have done that in the past. So I have a bunch of separate workflows for a bunch of different functionality. I'm actually now putting them all together into the R6 because I've had a change of approach in thinking about this. And I think it would actually be super helpful for most people in my community to have the same change of approach, which is just put everything into their damn account. You may not need it today. You may not need it ever, but is there any real harm in having some more templates in there or some more custom values in there? Not really. You could decide at some point that, no, Mike, I'm going to leave these things out when I deploy the snapshot. Cool. No big deal. But I think particularly when you're getting started, if you can just take the snapshot, drop the snapshot in and say, look, I know the stuff that I need is in here. Like, I think that will help a lot of people. That's my guess. That's my bet. Derek says, Mike, I love your productized approach. Thank you. How do you handle businesses that only need a few of the solutions HighLevel has to offer? Example, missed call text pack, reputation management, calendar automations. Derek, you can decide if those are good customers for you or not, one. And two, you can still take the same approach that I just described, which is it's still $297 and you're going to get all this other capability. And if you decide to use that other capability at some point or another, it's all there for you. Awesome. If not, awesome. It's still $297, right? You could do that approach. Or you could have a downsell option. Oh, you only want, these features. Sure, we can set up and offer you individual capabilities, and it's $97 a month per capability. And then at some point they obviously go, oh, if we use just 3 capabilities, we could be paying the same amount and get the whole $297 thing where we get everything. Could do that if you wanted to. And I say if you wanted to because one thing that I stress is that not everybody is a customer, okay? The risk in the service business is that you think you can just be so flexible that everybody is a customer. But that, at some point or another, that breaks the productization approach, okay? The way I want you to think about it is just like you had to put some products on the shelf at Walmart to sell to 100,000 people. If you had to put a product on the shelf to sell to 100,000 people, you'd have to make some decisions. Here's the box that it's going to be in. Here's the features that are going to be listed. Here's the price. If somebody walks in and they go to the shelf and they're at Walmart and they look at your options and they go, no, I wanted a blue one. These only come in red. Sorry, right? We don't make a red one. It's just, that's life. Not everybody is a customer. In the service business, we like to pretend that everybody is a customer because there's all those wise old business dudes with the sayings out there like the customer is always right, and just put more blood, sweat, and tears into your life and you'll be a success. Okay, there's some truth in those things, and there's also a bunch of BS, right? That need to be filtered, and you need to use your common sense, right? Money doesn't buy you happiness. Okay, I know the good intentions behind that statement, and I also know it's a hell of a lot better to have more money than not. All other things equal, right? So we got to filter some of this stuff. So the problem with that mindset of I'm going to be a service guy and I'm going to hustle and I'm going to bend over backwards for every business that needs my help because I know I can create the solution that will work for them. You spend a lot of time bending over backwards without much reward, especially if you're selling to small businesses. They just don't have the money to pay you for bending over backwards. Okay. If you're selling to a Fortune 1000 and they go, yeah, Mike, can you bend over backwards? And we can pay $500,000 to have you bend over backwards. Okay. Yeah. Me and my team are going to do some bending. Right. But when it's a small business and you're talking about, oh, they don't want to pay the full $297. So now we got to downsell them to 97. I mean, now you're essentially putting yourself into the tools business, and you are not a tools seller. You are a systems seller. There's a big difference. Okay. And I will be putting out a new video this weekend that will illustrate that difference if you're not completely sold on what I'm saying there. Let's see here. You're welcome, Ruben. Awesome. Connecting QuickBooks, Xero, and other tech that makes bookkeeping efficient. Exactly. Yeah, Xero was the one I was trying to think of the name that I couldn't think of it. Is it possible to link a referral to a customer? Like give 20% of a referral? Yes. Yep, you can just set that up in the affiliate management system in HighLevel. Yep. Yes. Awesome. You bet, Derek. And so I want to make sure I give you at least an option there, Derek, because I went on a rant. Sorry, I get all excited about these things. But yes, you could do like a $97 downsell and say, hey, did you want any of these core features? We can do each of these for $97 each. Obviously, if you're going to end up using more than a couple, just go ahead and get our full system. Okay. So that is the option if you want to have that downsell. Facts, man, you're telling the truth. Finally, a marketer discusses real business. When is your book coming out? Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, Max. Cool. Any other questions? Let me know. Otherwise, we'll start to wrap it up here. I've had you here for an hour and a half. So yeah, I do have a video coming out this weekend. Please, if you get the opportunity, watch it, like it, comment on it, all that good stuff. I cannot stress enough the importance of systems thinking versus tools thinking and versus agency thinking. Okay. Those are three different types of customers, and those are three different business opportunities: the tools business, systems business, and agency business. You've heard about the agency business because everybody uses that word, and you've heard about software tools because the software business is, these massive businesses funded by Silicon Valley and making tons of money. So we all know what those are. Most people are not familiar with this concept of that systems business that's in between, but that's the far majority of small businesses, right? The far majority of small businesses don't want to just sit down with tech tools and learn how to become marketing gurus, right? The guy who makes pizza at his restaurant doesn't want to sit down and start learning how to build funnels. He wants to make pizza and make money and go on vacation. He just wishes his pizza business was really profitable like he thought it was going to be when he started it. He doesn't care to try and become a new marketing guru now. So what he would like is a system that does the marketing stuff for him so he doesn't have to think about it and become a marketing guru. So we don't want to sell that guy tools. We want to sell him a system, a marketing system. Okay? We also don't want to do agency work for him because that guy who owns that pizza shop doesn't have enough money to pay us consistently to be doing a bunch of custom stuff. And he really doesn't want to anyway. Why do I got to be paying some creative agency to come up with some unique stuff for me and charge me all this money? I don't need that, right? So systems in between. Okay, that is what you want to be. That's who you want to sell to. That's what you want to offer. That's the business model that you want to get completely focused in on. And that's what this video coming out is about. Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. Oh, no. I totally get it. No offense. Absolutely not. Awesome. All right, everybody. Look, I don't see any new questions coming in. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday. I hope that this office hour session was helpful for you. And I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being a part of the community and your business always. And we have these calls generally every week on Friday. I say generally because travel and stuff like that, sometimes we change them up. But we also have our online community. So you can be in there, ask questions and stuff as well. I'll answer those in between these sessions. So please get into the community. And I look forward to seeing you on a future call. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you here soon. Bye-bye.